Hi, my name is Kevin Knight, and I own and operate the Anjou Bakery located in Kashmere, Washington, along with my wife, Heather. We started this bakery 5 years ago with a commitment and desire to produce great quality baked goods and food items for our community. Today we have 8 great employees who share that commitment and vision with us, and we hope to continue to grow our bakery in the future. Tonight I'll demonstrate my artisan skills and abilities by doing a loaf called the Wenatchee, and all the baking action happens downstairs, so I'll see you down there.
Okay.
Hi again, I'm down in the bakery now, and we're going to start mixing the Wenatchee dough, or actually the Wenatchee sponge. This is a naturally fermented sourdough bread. It's a 74% hydrated dough, and it begins with the sponge. So I'm just going to demonstrate mixing that sponge right now. I'll start with measuring out my flour. And we'll combine regular bread flour, water that has been heated up to the correct temperature for a final dough temperature, which we're looking for, which is around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And then our liquid levain starter that we use to leaven this bread. So this is just a sponge that we mix, and it doesn't need any gluten development at all, so we just mix for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and we'll see you in 3 minutes. Okay, here we have our sponge ingredients combined. We have the liquid levain, the water, and the flour. Just combined. I'm checking the temperature for optimum fermentation, and we've achieved that. This sponge will ferment for 2 hours at room temperature, and then we will retard it in our walk-in overnight, and we'll use it in our final dough tomorrow. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Hi again, here we are next day now, and we have our retarded sponge starter in the mixer, we have our bread flour, and we have our water at the correct temperature to achieve a final dough temperature of 75 or 76 degrees today. I'm going to go ahead and combine the ingredients and check the consistency after they're combined, and I've also held back about 5% of the water. So we'll go ahead and combine the ingredients, and I'll see you in about 4 minutes. Okay, we've combined our final ingredients here, and I'm checking the consistency, and it looks great, so I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the water that I held back at the beginning, and I'm going to add the salt now, and we're going to do a slow mix on this dough. It's a long fermented dough. It gets about a 4.5 hour fermentation, and it gets 2 turns during that fermentation. So we've got the salt and the water in there. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this dough off. It'll end up at about 75 degrees, which is just right for tonight's conditions at the bakery. And we'll go ahead and start mixing that now. And then I'll see you over at the shaping table. 4. Okay, here we have a fully fermented Wenatchee dough ready for scaling and shaping. It's a pretty soft dough, and we scale these into 3-pound loaves. When I'm scaling this dough, I try to be as gentle and get as monolithic of a piece as possible for the shaping. And then we give it a really gentle shape and really try to preserve the interior structure that we've worked so hard to develop. So that's the finished loaf. It proofs upside down on our floured bench here for about a half an hour. And then at that point, we go ahead and bake them. So I'll just scale and shape a couple loaves here, and then we'll be ready for baking in about a half an hour. Again, I really try to preserve the structure that we've worked hard at creating and give it a real gentle shape. And that's about that. So I'm going to go ahead and work through this dough, and we'll see you over at the oven in about a half an hour. Okay, our loaves have proofed for approximately about a half an hour, and now we're peeling them up and putting them onto parchment lined boards. That's how we load our particular deck oven. So I'm just going to go ahead and, with Melanie's assistance here, finish this up. They've been proofing upside down, and as we put them on the boards, we're flipping them right side over so that the floured part is now right side up. So that gives that characteristic floured appearance to the finished loaves. So these will go directly over to our oven, and I'll see you over there. Okay, here we are at our oven, which we have lined with cement hearts and plumbed with water to create steam. And the parchments facilitate loading into our oven here. I just slide them in and steam after I get it in there. And we'll set a timer. A little more steam. And then we just keep on loading the oven. Someday we hope to expand and get a bigger oven, but for now this one does a great job for us. Okay, here we are rotating the loaves, and we do that because our oven is an uneven baking oven, and it also facilitates removing the parchment. And we'll see you when the loaves are done in about 10 minutes. Needing only one rotation midway through the baking process, the Wenatchee loaf, which is similar to an Italian ciabatta, is now fully baked. I'll see you upstairs for some samples. So here we are at the end of the bread baking process, and I think it's the most important part of the process. It's sharing the finished product with the friends and community. I'm continually blown away by the process of bread baking, and I'm honored to do this job as a profession. I want to continue to learn and grow as a baker, and that's why I want to apply for the Bread Baking Team 2002, because I think that would be a great way to achieve that goal. So I look forward to seeing you in November.